You know, really, you think Ryan should win, and Ryan should win, really. He should. There's true Mexican blood, fights with heart, fights with pride, fights for his country, and fights for something more than clicks and views. It's hard to pick who's going to win.
What are the keys for Ryan to be victorious that night against Devin?
Be himself and understand that this fight means more than a fight that he fought with Tank Davis. Prove and believe, and also understand that, you know, you only get too many cracks. You don't get too many cracks or bite at the apple.
Hey, who do you think is gonna win in the fight? Ryan Garcia or Mario Barrios?
I think Ryan Garcia, bro. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
And I think this is his chance, you know? I hope he's working hard because it's
He is, bro.
Yeah,
he is.
okay. Because this is his chance to be a world champion.
He's still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active.
It's a good matchup for Ryan. I think Ryan has the skills, the power, the speed to actually go and become champion. But there's a few things that I see that might not be in his favor. And look, Barrios is dedicated. I know him. He's actually a good friend, a good person. And they chose him because they think Ryan has everything it takes to become champion, to become the world heavyweight champion, because they're already planning on huge fights with Devin Haney.
The tension is rising as the highly anticipated clash between Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios is just a few days away, and both fighters are in the final stage of their preparations. Boxing pros are also waiting for this showdown and expressing their final thoughts on it before 21st February.
Ryan is a real safety first type fighter. Well, not all the time, but Ryan's real cautious. And Barrios, you know, he has a lot of holes in his defense. So I really don't know, man. I really don't know. I feel like both of they fundamental. Ryan is more of the physical gifted one.
Max Kellerman analyzes the upcoming clash between Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios, emphasizing that Garcia's natural talent alone will not carry him to victory. Kellerman highlights the importance of discipline, structured preparation, and consistent training as essential factors for overcoming Barrios.
Boxing is not a comfort business.
But do you think it's more of his opponent, where maybe I could get away with training with my dad? Compared to if I'm fighting a top dude.
It'd be a big mistake to underestimate him. Right, and it's like everyone thought he was gonna win that fight, and Rolly just outboxed him. Rolly outboxed him and looked good doing it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's crazy. I wish that Ryan, because he's so talented, I wish he would stick to a coach and really just follow the instructions.
Ryan gonna win this fight. He gonna win this fight. He gonna win this fight.
I don't know.
He got to.
Max Kellerman and Robert Garcia recognize Ryan Garcia's skill, but warn that instability in his training could hinder his development, especially against Mario Barrios' steady preparation. At the same time, both fighters are exchanging warnings, adding to the fight's growing anticipation.
The ring, high stakes. Roberts, what's your thought on that matchup?
Look, it's a good matchup for Ryan. I think Ryan has the skills, the power, the speed to actually go and become champion. But there's a few things that I see that might not be in his favor. And look, Barrios is dedicated. I know him. He's actually a good friend, a good person. And they chose him because they think Ryan has everything it takes to become champion, to become the world heavyweight champion, because they're already planning on huge fights with Devin Haney and whatever out there for Ryan.
Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios also make it clear that they are looking for a win and will put their 100% effort during that fight.
I mean, same thing as everybody says, you know, left hand, make sure that's up, you gotta protect it, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's what I would imagine he's saying. And got to take that away. It's probably, you know, little things like that. You know, they drill a lot of just keeping the hands up all day long. So it's like here, 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 here. But, you know, this freestyle type of boxing, you know, with technique is going to overwhelm this man.
It was a great experience. He's definitely one of a kind. I took a lot from that fight, just being there with somebody with his timing, his skill, his speed. Yeah, just, you know, gonna use that, you know, in every way, you know, to grow as a fighter.
Your opponent on the 21st, Garcia, haven't actually won a fight officially since 2023. You know, he's been through a lot of controversies, the scandal with Haney, and then the loss against Rolly Romero. What do you make of all that?
I don't make much of, you know, all the like noise around Garcia. I just know, you know, I have a live opponent in front of me. I have somebody, you know, who's trying to take my title, and I'm looking just to go out there and defend.
So you're looking to put on a big performance, stylistically, what you're going to come with?
Stylistically, I think this is going to be a very exciting fight. Garcia, he's explosive, he's dangerous, and but I think on a boxing level, there's no competing with us.
Greg Hackett questioned Ryan Garcia's readiness for his clash with Mario Barrios, highlighting concerns about focus and preparation. Hackett described the matchup as a genuine 50-50 contest and emphasized that Garcia will need more than his signature left hook to secure a victory.
We need the new breed to start getting the big stages as well with some good competition. But yeah.
I mean, I think Ryan and Barrios is actually a good fight, because when have we seen Ryan in the ring with somebody his height? You know what I'm saying? So I think we're looking at a real boxing match. Could he overwhelm Barrios? Yeah, but where is he mentally? Ryan Garcia has been spending time with YouTubers and streamers and shit like that. He ain't really been training. So what type of Ryan are we getting? I mean, are we gonna get the front runner Ryan, who go in there and try his best for 2-3 rounds and then bullshit for the rest of the fight? Or is we gonna get a focused Ryan that's really trying to go in there and do damage? Barrios, at the same time, he questions himself at times, and I think that's his biggest downfall. He get in that ring, and sometimes he questions his own abilities. So therefore, that could either make for a great fight or it could be a bullshit fight.
Greg Hackett raised concerns about Ryan Garcia's focus and commitment leading into his fight with Mario Barrios. He stressed that while Garcia possesses natural talent and his signature left hook, success against a prepared and disciplined opponent like Barrios requires more than raw ability. Hackett emphasized that any lapses in training, discipline, or strategic preparation could make the bout much closer than expected, turning it into a true 50-50 contest.
Who you favor in the fight?
I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think the height plays a major part. I think the jab of Barrios plays a major part if he apply that jab. But Ryan got to show more than the left hook. At the same time, Ryan can punch. Barrios, if he turned on, then he looked good.
Mario Barrios is committed to capitalizing on Ryan Garcia's weaknesses, focusing on every vulnerability he has identified. Barrios aims to defend his belt aggressively and leave no openings for his opponent.
And just show why I'm the biggest threat in the welterweight division.
You got dropped last time out with that double left hook. That's something you're gonna look to take advantage of. See any weaknesses there?
I'm looking forward to taking advantage of every weakness that we see in his in his style.
He's up and down, Ryan. It's like he's in the ring some fights and he's not. Is that something you've spotted? Do you think he's distracted? Do you think his sort of social media presence is more to him than being a fighter?
I don't really know what it is. If it's like social media, if it's just his personal life. I'm not thinking about that though. I'm thinking, just that I'm going to be facing, a focused Garcia.
However, Ryan Garcia remains unfazed by changes in his training team, maintaining full focus as he prepares for Mario Barrios and continuing to sharpen his skills ahead of the fight.
He's working with a trainer you're familiar with, then.
Oh yeah, in my eyes, But hey, because I know I've already said some stuff that guy's already told him. But again, like he said, boxing is one-on-one. At the end of the day, he's a free thinker. I'm a free thinker.
Ryan said, Joe's not going to stop this fight. It's going to be a physical fight, a bloody fight. You're smiling when you're hearing that. Is that the kind of fight you want?
Not necessarily that it's the fight I want, but it's never a fight that I shy away from. Gone out of my shield before. Like I said, every time I step in there, I give it, whatever I have that day. And if that's the way like this fight goes, if it ends in a bloody battle, then it does. And I've never shied away from that.
I respect that. I honestly do. I do see that in him. He definitely gives everything he got in that ring, and it's dope to see.
Mario Barrios describes Ryan Garcia as a fast, powerful, and confident opponent, showing respect for his abilities. He reflects on Garcia's recent roller coaster in the ring, from a flat loss to Roelly Romero to an impressive win over Devin Haney, while noting off-ring distractions like the drug test controversy that may have impacted his focus. Despite these challenges, Barrios maintains that he wishes Garcia well.
When you look at Ryan as an opponent, obviously I'll put respect on the speed, the power, the confidence, and all that, but it's been a weird stretch for him in the ring, to be fair. The lifeless loss to Roelly Romero, the spectacular victory over Devin Haney, but obviously the drug test, everything that went on around that mentally. And, certainly at the end of the day, we wish Ryan well. How do you sort of gauge where he's at as a fighter entering this fight?
It's hard to say really, where exactly, he's at, but I just had to prepare as if, I have a focused Ryan in front of me, as they're saying. And yeah, just, everything else kind of just is just background noise, Wait to look at Ryan's, at his best performances,
Mario Barrios admits that gauging Ryan Garcia's current form is challenging, so he prepares as if facing the best possible version of him. Barrios treats media narratives, controversies, and distractions as irrelevant, focusing solely on strategy, skill, and execution. He emphasizes that regardless of whether Garcia performs at his peak or below it, Barrios will be ready to rise to the challenge in the ring.
One of a kind, he's a character to be around. But no, the move to go be with Joe was gonna happen, whether this fight with Ryan was made or not. I was definitely, just after the Pocket fight looking at what steps I wanted to make, moving forward, to just, continue to just grow as a fighter, to just continue to just, work on I guess, yeah, just to work on myself and get back to some of the things that has that got me this far in the first place. Earlier in my career, I was definitely a lot more aggressive. I had a much higher punch output, and so my team sat down and were like, why not? Why not change the scenery? Why not go try it out with a coach who has been there with countless of times with countless of fighters.
On the other hand, Ryan Garcia's father, Henry Garcia, confirmed that Ryan Garcia is in peak condition and fully prepared for his world title bout. He described this camp as the most complete of Ryan's career, emphasizing that Fight Night will showcase his best version, both physically and mentally, focused on winning the WBC welterweight belt. Henry highlighted Garcia's strength, conditioning, and dedication in training and sparring, noting that other trainers observing the camp agree he is truly 100% ready for the challenge.
He's totally in shape, and he can only get better, but he's already at his peak. I'm really happy and proud of him.
Attaboy, champ, let's go. There you go.
Y'all see that one pimple right there in the middle of the nose? That means I'm reindeer. I'm Rudolph the reindeer. What was he? He was different. Santa wanted him. Nobody wanted him, but Santa did. Let's go. I'm different.
Jeff Mayweather believes that a victory for Mario Barrios over Ryan Garcia could be transformative, cementing Barrios as a legitimate WBC welterweight champion. Such a win would elevate his profile, enhance his earning potential, and draw global attention in a competitive division.
He got decent punching power too. So, I mean, he has a great chance of winning.
So if Barrios does win, what's the path to victory?
Well, if Barrios wins, I mean, there's other big names. I mean, there's a lot of big names out there right now with a lot of these young fighters, and so, I mean, to continue on this path by continuing to fight bigger names.
Jeff Mayweather criticized Ryan Garcia's approach leading up to his fight with Devin Haney, suggesting that Garcia downplayed his training and professionalism. Mayweather explained that this created doubts among experts about his readiness at the elite level, implying that by appearing less disciplined, Garcia fooled everyone in the boxing world and gave the impression he might not belong in high-stakes bouts.
I'm just being honest. He should not be fighting for a world title, and he's just coming off a loss. But the reality is what I said before. Social media is the reason why, because Mario Barrios, even though he's a champion, he needs Ryan Garcia to get a big payday.
What do you think is the biggest weakness that Ryan still hasn't fixed yet?
I don't know. I mean, I think that, I don't know if it's his ability to fight. I don't think there's nothing wrong there. I think his mental. His mental because every time you don't know if he's playing or if he's, actually really going through something. So, I mean, I would say mental.
Meanwhile, Robert Garcia commented on Ryan Garcia's recent coaching changes, noting it is unusual for a top fighter to rotate through several elite trainers before returning to his father, Henry, who originally guided him as a youngster. While Robert acknowledged that Henry knows Ryan well, and that returning to him isn't necessarily negative, he questioned why Garcia would pass on world-class coaches like Eddie Reynoso, Joe Goosen, and Derek James. Garcia's choice appears more about maintaining control over his career than optimizing his training, highlighting how consistency and top-level coaching are vital for success at the championship level.
Ryan is one of those kids that we don't know. If he comes out and has that great training camp and great preparation, is in great shape, he could go out and win by knockout. But we don't know. We don't know. Ryan hasn't showed, there's fights where he looks sensational, but next fight he doesn't. And that just happened with Haney, and then the next fight against Rollis didn't look too good. So we don't know what we're going to see with Ryan. I hope to, I like Ryan. He's a great dude, Southern California, great kid, great. But, having to be with three of the top trainers and not being able to train with neither of them and not going back to his dad, I don't know. There's questions there. Is that going to work? Is he doing it because he doesn't want to work harder? He wants to call the shots, and his dad's going to do whatever he wants. We don't know. I don't know. If it was his dad, he would stay with him his whole career and never hired anybody else. Maybe when he hired Eddie or Goosen or Derek James, maybe it's because he knew his dad wasn't capable of, or else he wouldn't have hired anybody else. He would stay with his dad since day one. But at the end, we'll see. When they fight on the 21st, February 21st, we'll see. If it works, then good for them, man. They're great people. I'm telling you. They've been to my gym. The dad, nothing but respect for him. Ryan's always showing me respect. So deep inside, I'm cheering for him to become champion.
Keith Thurman reacted strongly during an interview when asked about Ryan Garcia's power carrying into welterweight. Thurman argued that knockouts at lightweight do not necessarily demonstrate equivalent strength at 147 pounds, challenging the assumption that Garcia's punching power would translate seamlessly.
Okay, and so you think Ryan's got a bigger punch than that? Bigger punch than, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because when Ryan touches you,
No, when he touches lightweights, see, he hasn't dropped real welterweights.
Okay, yep.
Is there even a real welterweight in the welterweight division?
No,
I think Conor Benn's the only real welterweight left at 147. So this new welterweight game is lightweights moving up. Okay, there's no OG 147. And with that, I can't give Ryan the credit you're trying to give him.
Okay.
Yeah, with that.
How likely is it though, with those names, that you're like, 47 looks pretty good?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I could eat him up like Tic Tacs, baby. I mean, I already beat Mario Barrios, schooled him. He's champion and remaining champion. He got back-to-back draws. That's a history in the making. Not an entertaining one, but it's history in the making. Drawing, so let's see if Ryan can, beat him. And then, like I said, they're all lightweights moving up. So then if they were to ever try to see us at 54, then they're playing with fire once again, stepping in to somebody else's territory once again,
Keith Thurman stressed that genuine power can only be measured against natural welterweights, not smaller fighters moving up in weight. He maintained that Ryan Garcia still needs to prove himself, emphasizing that reputation and social media hype cannot substitute for actual results in the ring.
But it's boxing, man, and we want to make great fights, and sometimes it takes great names to sell big fights. And so we are, like I said, I already slapped Mario Barrios up, outclassed him, so it would take Ryan to get a win.
Meanwhile, Tim Bradley analyzed Ryan Garcia's approach against Mario Barrios, emphasizing timing and precision. He explained that Garcia plans to exploit Barrios' movement using a flicking jab and by reading his opponent as he drops or changes levels. Bradley highlighted a signature punch, the 45, a hybrid of a half hook and half uppercut popularized by Oscar De La Hoya, which Garcia has studied and incorporated, calling it a dangerous weapon that Barrios must respect.
Because Barrios is a counterpuncher and he likes to stay, again, close to mid-range to outside, mid-range to outside. So he's like, a step or two, I would say a step, right in mid-range when he's firing shots. And so sometimes he'll throw those single jabs at mid-range, and he can be countered with the right hand, but we all know that Ryan Garcia, hopefully his right hand is back, operating. If his right hand is operating, he should have a field day, taking advantage of that, mid-range jab coming from Barrios. And he does it a lot, man. He really does. A lot of stuff that he does, he has good form and technique on it, Barrios. But it's just subtle mistakes that he makes. Like just stand near the pocket after he gets done working so guys can attack him after he gets done.
Chris Algieri emphasized Ryan Garcia's star power and appeal, highlighting how his charisma, physical gifts, and flashy style make him must-watch television. Unlike George Kambosos, who built his career through hard work and perseverance to achieve world championships, Garcia has yet to claim a major title. Algieri questioned whether Ryan will secure a defining victory like Kambosos' win over Teofimo Lopez, but noted that his popularity and talent continue to generate opportunities and keep him as one of boxing's biggest draws.
And you mentioned it from the onset about being a star. Kambosos was never a star. Kambosos was never that popular, not the way that Ryan Garcia is. So Ryan's here because of that. And yes, he does have some physical gifts and a ton of physical talent, and physical gifts that make him, must-watch TV when he's on. But we haven't seen him on in a long time. And, he hasn't gotten to that position. It's hard to compare him with George because George was the opposite. George was just a hard worker. George always came in shape, but in terms of talent, he was lacking. He got that big win off of heart and grit, and man, did he cash out on that win because he made so much money after those fights, got himself into so many opportunities that he never would have gotten if he had lost to Teofimo Lopez and became undisputed. Ryan is still yet to be world champion. These guys are almost like literally polar opposites of each other.
On the other hand, Wade Plemons discussed the southpaw position and how it influences a fighter's strategy, praising Ryan Garcia for his analytical approach in studying opponents. Plemons noted that Garcia has reviewed fights against opponents like Keith Thurman and Abel Ramos to prepare for Mario Barrios, both of whom presented tough challenges. He highlighted the question of how Ryan's freestyle boxing can integrate lessons from those matches to navigate Barrios' reputation as one of the sport's most dangerous finishers.
Obviously, both tough nights for Mario Barrios, but I'm interested to see what Ryan takes away from those fights. What can Ryan and his style, that kind of freestyle boxing he says he does, what can he implement from either of those guys to beat Barrios?
One of the best finishers in boxing. Like, I know you didn't finish Devin Haney, but you had him drown.
I saved him. I should have knocked him. I just didn't have the conditioning.
I think it still bothers you, huh?
Yes, because I should have knocked him out in that 11th, man. I was playing around too much. And I was like, ha ha, like, bro. But next time, that next time, buddy,
there we go again.
You won't have a next time. I'm finishing you. You will never box again if we fight again, and you know that. And I bow to that. If we fight again, you will never box again. I promise you that.
Gee, this is what I'm saying, bro. We need this. I've said it so many times. We need this.
Analysts offered insight into Ryan Garcia, observing that his in-ring strength reflects the unpredictability he shows outside the ring. Known for eccentric behavior at press events and public appearances, Garcia's actions have sometimes stirred controversy. Henry emphasized that this unpredictability contributes to his enigmatic and compelling presence in the sport.
Now, where Ryan Garcia is strong is actually ironic because it really matches his personality. This is quite a chaotic guy. We've seen stuff from him over the years. He comes into press conferences pretending to drink beer. His personality can seem quite erratic, a little bit all over the place. I actually find him very intriguing as a character, quite compelling. That's not to say I like everything he's done. He's clearly done some pretty abhorrent stuff too. But overall, this is a guy who is, I think, enigmatic would be a fair word to describe him. But yeah, these are the three areas where I think Ryan Garcia really thrives. And all of them involve, as I just said, chaos. The first key area is when fighters rush backwards. Now, usually, and I think this is quite an impressive skill that he has, usually in a boxing room, when a guy decides to get on his bike and move around the ring, it can be very, very hard to close them down and score shots on them. Look at Josh Kelly versus Murtazaliev recently, or the Canelo Skull fight, or indeed Devin Haney against Jose Ramirez, or Devin Haney against Brian Norman Jr. These are guys that found it difficult to stop Haney when he decided, I'm not engaging right now and you can't touch me.
Henry also highlighted three key areas where Ryan Garcia excels, all rooted in his chaotic style. First, Garcia thrives when opponents retreat or circle the ring, showing an ability to close distance quickly and land precise shots that many fighters struggle to connect with. Henry compared this skill to the challenges faced by boxers like Josh Kelly and Devin Haney against elusive opponents. Despite controversies such as the failed drug test before the Haney fight, Henry emphasized that Garcia's speed, timing, and knack for exploiting chaotic exchanges remain undeniable, making unpredictability both his biggest challenge and most potent weapon.
Very aware when Ryan Garcia fought Devin Haney that he failed that performance-enhancing drug test. I know it's been struck off both of their records, but the reality is the stuff I saw him doing in that Haney fight, I saw him doing it before that fight too. So unless you're saying that he cheated for his entire career, I actually just think that Haney played right into the way that Ryan Garcia likes to fight that night. Because one thing that Ryan Garcia is actually really good at is pressing you when you move backwards like that. When you're not in a position to counterpunch, Ryan Garcia loves it. To be fair to Haney, without the knockdowns, he actually could have won this fight. Ryan Garcia was on the back foot just trying to get through the rounds for a lot of it because his stamina clearly wasn't quite right. But when Haney did go on the back foot and when Garcia did press, that was when he had success. And then he'd pin him close to the ropes and he'd go for him, he'd throw those combination punches. When your feet aren't planted, it's much harder to counter someone or to land something significant, and Garcia knows that instinctively. So he will really press you in those moments. And throughout his career, it's an area where he's thrived. Likewise, if you come forward too aggressively when you press him, Ryan Garcia absolutely loves that.
So that's all we have from today's video, and we hope you enjoyed it. Share your thoughts in the comments section and make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos.